What's going on, everybody? Thanks for taking a couple minutes to check out my channel. It's the 29th of June, and last weekend was our Pennsylvania State Trappers Rendezvous. Coming up in this episode, this is like my second preseason episode, I guess. But coming up, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the rendezvous. I'm going to show some of the products that I purchased there, and then I'm going to show a couple really good tips for cable restraints that I picked up while I was at one of the demos. So I met several people there from YouTube. I got some, a lot of people just gave me some positive feedback about my channel and stuff. I appreciate it a lot. I mean, it was just fun meeting people and talking to people. It was a good time. There was a ton of vendors there. There was anything you wanted trapping-wise to be purchased, pretty much. I got some stuff I needed and saw some demos, and it was a really good time. They put on a really good show there. I'm going to do just a quick review of the products I got, show a couple tips, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Okay, so here's some of the baits and lures that I picked up. I got several lures from Night Owl Lures. I really like this company. The guy's awesome, and it makes a really good gland lure. I got a bobcat gland, a red fox gland, a coyote gland, and a bottle of his red tornado. It's a real mild food-based lure. That's good for early season. I also got from Night Owl Lures, I got some liquid mouse bait. I used that last year. This is good for trailing scents or mixing in baits or just squirting down a dirt hole on some sheep's wool. I got some salmon oil for raccoon trapping. From Rusot, I got some of his fox urine. This stuff, I mean, his urines kick it for real. From Dobbins, I picked up a bottle of his bait solution. I've used this several times. I mean, for 25 bucks, you end up with 1 gallon of bait, which is, I mean, that's pretty cheap, and it works. I didn't get to see Zager's demonstration. I wish I would have, but I stopped at his booth and bought a bottle of his bait, pipe dope. It's pretty small. I guess it's pretty expensive, really, but he said you don't use much. And I guess if I can catch a couple coyotes on it, it'll be worth the $24. So that's about all the baits and lures that I picked up. I mean, if you watch my channel, you know I got some more Fox Hollow Super Steaks. I bought some stuff for making cable restraints. I got a bunch of like annealed nuts. These are like stops. You can't just get nuts from a hardware store. These are softened nuts and they smash nicely. If you do it from the hardware store, they'll probably crack and just break off. I got some washers for making for the swivel ends. And this was my mistake. I grabbed a pack of 100 of these. I only needed a couple dozen, but they're 350-pound breakaways. We can go up to 375 in PA. I wanted these for my coyote cables, but these are really chunky, heavy breakaways. Let's see, what else did I get? I got a half a dozen Sleepy Creek number 4s. I got these for 6 of them for 90 bucks, so $15 a piece. But these are going to make a decent beaver trap, I think. They're 6 and 5/16 jaw spread. We can only go to 6.5. So this is just a little bit under. They don't have a night latch on them. But what they do have is a nice little window in the pan system so that you can watch your dog show up right here. And you can just bring it right to the edge. It serves the same purpose as a night latch pretty much. But there's just no audible click to it. You just gotta watch it, bring it to the very edge, and then it'll fire quickly with very little pan movement. They're base plated, center swiveled, got twist chain on them. They're made they were made in the U.S. Sleepy Creek. I don't know if anybody started making them again, but they went out of business. They were being made in Berkeley Springs in West Virginia. Really nice trap. That'd be great. I might set these actually for when it comes bobcat season and stuff. And that's about all the stuff I bought there. I did order trap tags, but they'll be sent in the mail. Now, a couple good tips that I learned from Rich Fowler from his cable restraint demo was, the first one was how to put your support wire in the ground with minimal effort, and it becomes really stable. And I've already tried this. I started bending all my things this way after I tried it. It's pretty much after you drive your stake in the stake hole, he has a driver he made, and I'm going to make one. I'll explain how he made the driver. But this gets forced down into the hole where the stake is driven. This extra little bend sort of works as a stop. It stops your wire from going in the ground, and it helps with the thing pivoting in this direction. He also standardizes all his wires. So from the tip here to here for fox, he does 18 inches. And for coyote, he does 28 inches. So I'm doing all mine that way. I just cut my wire. I marked them all at like all the fox ones at 18 inches. And then I did my bend, so that ended up right here. Same way with the coyotes. Here's the coyote one. It's just too long to get in screen. I've just marked it at 28 inches and make those two bends. This works really well. I tried it out, and it just really holds the wire nice and stable for you. Also, he was showing he carries two different cables, one for fox and one for coyotes. He does 7x7 for both of them, but the difference in his fox and coyotes are the length of the cables themselves. He has short cables for fox, which makes sense, and I never really thought about this. When I first got cable restraints, they were 5 foot long, so I started making them, and I made them all 5 foot long. The shorter the cable is, the less you got to worry about entanglements. When you're doing cable restraints, live catch stuff, you have to be really, really cautious about entanglements. When you have a shorter cable, it's just less to worry about. So you only need about probably less than 4 feet, but I've been cutting about a foot off of my cable, all my fox cables. Pretty much just cut them off and put a new annealed nut at the end. And I'm shortening all of those up. You need about 5 feet to set a coyote cable, though. A coyote cable, it takes about 38 inches to make your loop, and then you need about another 20 inches or so to drop from the top of your loop clear back to the ground, because the top of the loop is usually about 20 inches off the ground. So you need the 5 feet for the coyotes, just not for the fox. And he also does a big loop for the fox from what I am used to. He says he does like 7 inches, maybe up to 8 inches for fox. I was always making my loops pretty small, maybe like 5 inches or so. I was catching fox, but not as many as him. I don't write books about it, so I'm going to be trying some bigger loops this year and a little less trying to bottleneck them in. I mean, the whole goal for the cables is to get the fox to stick his nose through here and then hit that bottom of that cable with his chest and pull that down on his neck. I may be making them too small and too confined and not as inviting to just continue on their way. That's what you want. You want the animal to be heading down a trail and not even hesitate. Just run into your cable and pull that like it's a weed. When he made his driver that he made for his wire support system, he basically had a piece of round stock and he cut a groove in it. So I'm going to take this piece of round stock. I got this from Lowe's. It's 3 foot long by 1/2 inch. But I'm going to cut a slot so that fits right in there. And I plan on cutting the other end of this off and turning it and making a T handle here as well. This is a 3 foot hunk. And that's about it. So if you got any questions, comments, complaints, or gripes, leave them in the comments section below. I appreciate everybody watching. Hope everyone has a blessed day. It's about 92 degrees. I'm dripping with sweat. And I'm about ready to grill some hot dogs.